people who live near Fort Knox have heard pretty much all the conspiracy theories.
Who would have taken the gold?
As far as the missing gold, I don't know. I don't have anything to do with that.
About the federal facility at the heart of town where a huge chunk of the country's gold supply is stored. What's not a secret, President Trump's long love affair with gold, from bars with his name on it to signs outside his Manhattan home. And that famous golden escalator that started his political career. He's now making a promise to find out once and for all, is the gold still there?
We're actually going to Fort Knox to see if the gold is there, because maybe somebody stole the gold. Tons of gold. Wouldn't that be terrible if we opened it up and there was no gold there? If the gold isn't there, we're going to be very upset.
Despite the president's speculation, there's no evidence the gold is not there, which we'll get into in just a bit.
Fort Knox is one of the most secure places in this country, so I am 100% sure that the gold is there.
But those conspiracies, almost as old as the first deposits back in 1937.
Minimum offensive fire until I signal bomb has been neutralized.
With the mystery driven by the 1964 James Bond film Goldfinger, after its villain tried to tank the economy by ruining the gold supply. Of course, the U.S. doesn't rely on gold anymore to back the dollar. A change.
Yeah, that's what they say. Then why do we have it? That gold is there for a reason. And it does back the dollar. And without it, the United States wouldn't have any credibility in the world. And that's what happened to Britain. And they don't have no credibility in the world because they're not backed by gold or have a large stockpile of it. And we do. And it means a lot.
Finalized by Richard Nixon in 1971, but we still keep a ton of it, or really tons of it, locked up. An expert we asked told us it's basically collateral.
Yeah, and Richard Nixon is the president who took us off the gold standard, which means that our dollar is not backed by gold, which means it's worthless. It has to be, you have to have collateral. You have to have something of substance to give someone. That's how we got the gold in the first place. And it's such of a trip that we act like it ain't no big old deal. Now, there's something going on there, but I don't think any of the gold is missing. But if it is, it wouldn't be the biggest shocker in the world because we are trillions of dollars in debt. If we're trillions of dollars in debt, and what if the person who we owe the money to is saying, no, your money's no good. Your dollar, it means nothing to me. I want you to pay me in that gold. You have gold. And we had to hand over our gold instead of cash because whoever these people are, we owe all this goddamn money to China. Then they take the gold and have way more wealth than we do. And our dollar is based on air. It doesn't mean anything. So the gold standard is important. And even if you verbally take yourself off the gold standard, everybody knows what you have stockpiled in your country and what's truly backing up that dollar.
Be foreign currency reserves, it might be gold reserves, and this increases the confidence that the dollar is sound.
The U.S. Mint says about half of the country's gold is at Fort Knox. The whole thing built under thousands of tons of steel and concrete, heavily guarded. And secrecy is part of the point.
This is for the unbelievers. Okay.
The vault only opened twice since FDR. The first time in September 1974 for a group of journalists and members of Congress to dispel rumors the gold was gone. The second time during the first Trump administration, when then Treasury Secretary Steve Mnuchin got a look for himself.
The gold was there.
We've been getting some mixed reports because some people are saying that it hasn't been inventoried since 1953 or 1954, and then they did a light inventory in 74 or something. But I believe that it should be a kind of a normal thing because it is the one thing that makes us the leader of the world. Take the gold away and a whole lot of other things change. That trillions and trillions of dollars of debt just crumbles. Because we have no way of paying it. We have nothing to back it. No one would ever trust us with a loan. Just like we didn't trust Britain with any loans. And it goes into that when it comes down to that gold standard. And a lot of people in the country don't understand it. It's really strange that Elon Musk and Trump are trying to get a handle on it. But I do believe they already know what the deal is with the gold. I just hope that they don't plan on using our gold for some other shit, you know, like using our gold to get us out of debt, which they could easily do. And we would be out of debt, but we would be a poorer country as a result of that. But I don't think that being isolationist is that bad of an idea to a degree. I think we've gone way too far with the goodwill, open arms to the world. And it has made our country vulnerable. I believe we're in a place right now where we could be lost as a country. And it doesn't seem possible because of the way we're taught, instructed on how this thing works over here. But it doesn't go that way. And it could just happen in an instant, and we'll all be like sitting here not understanding what's going on. So many other people in other parts of the world don't have the confidence in their existence and in their next day of awakening in there, and if they're going to have another day of life like Americans do across the board. I mean, why wouldn't people want to rush and sneak into this country? Because the security and the confidence you have in your country to take care of you is probably unmatched. You know, maybe China, I don't know what it's like over there, but I would think because of their place in the world, that might be the one place you could see that kind of thing. But the United States has such of a comfort blanket around us all that we are almost just a little unrealistic about how it really goes. But this gold is something that needs to be monitored, inventoried. I can see it's being guarded, but I don't think there should be any issue with the president of the United States walking over there and getting a look, or inventory, a photo op, whatever the hell he wants, because that is the gold, and he is the man in charge. And we as American people should be put at ease and know that proper physical inventories are being done, and not just I signed off this document that this guy signed off, and when he took it, it was full, and I'm signing off because I didn't see nothing. No, it needs to be a deep physical inventory. It's a lot of gold, and I don't think that's too much to ask. I don't know if that's what Trump and them are up to, but when you hear Fort Knox, you have to think about this country not being this country anymore. If that gold comes up missing or starts being utilized in any other way except as collateral for the loans and the debt that we have, and for us to be able to increase our dominance in the world by getting loans, expanding into other places, and buying our way around the world, giving people money, and I just hope we're not passing our gold out. That's all. That would be a very, very scary proposition.
When I visited it, I hope nobody's moved it. I'm sure they haven't.
So did Kentucky's Republican governor at the time, who's dismissing the conspiracies this week.
It is so ridiculously secured that it is not possible to sneak anything out of there.
In fact, it's so secure, they don't want us filming anywhere near that building that has the gold. This is about as close as we could get. So where could the president have gotten the idea that the gold might not be there? As with so many right-wing conspiracies, Alex Jones, the man who had to liquidate his assets to pay for massive defamation verdicts over the lies he spread about the Sandy Hook school shooting.
In the last 40-something years, most of our gold was sent overseas.
Then picked up in a tweet by Elon Musk, who said it'd be cool to do a walkthrough at Fort Knox.
Yeah, we want to go see it.
But even the president's new Treasury...
That's just messed up. Elon Musk ain't even a citizen of the United States. And he's on a whim of, hey, I want to see what's in there. I want to see it. And, you know, and he is a trillionaire, billionaire, whatever the fuck he is. I get it. But damn, it just seemed like for a person who's not even a citizen to be able to have that kind of access to our gold, damn. I wish I could. I mean, I would like to see it and hold a bar of gold in my hand and see, you know, but yeah, he get to actually encourage an audit of something that it should be audited. Why is Elon Musk so worried about? I mean, I know he's getting billion-dollar contracts out the country. It makes complete sense that he would be a little concerned if the country's going to be there. he can hop around. For him, fortunately, he can take his company and go run it out of China, or he can take it back down to South Africa, or he can go anywhere he wants to go with this company. But it's just strange when you see a private citizen who's that inquisitive. But I know when you reach a certain level of money, you start thinking other ways and other things and worldly type things. And it's scary when you think of rich people making too many of the decisions and no pushback from poor people. And I don't mean pushback from Democrats. I mean true pushback, not political games, not trying to scare everybody into voting for them so they can get in office and continue to do what they have been doing. Nothing. Democrats are trying to trick us into supporting them, and we don't need that. We need a poor people's movement. We need people who really are in this country as citizens of this country to get together and fight and have a real fight. With the finish, either we're going to lose the fight or we're going to win the fight, but it ain't going to be no ongoing shit that just year in and year out in every election, that's all you talk about is fighting. People need to start standing on their needs and standing on their requests and making sure that whoever they voted into office is fulfilling them. And if Trump is in there fulfilling the requests of the people who voted him in, he's doing what he's supposed to do. That's exactly what he's supposed to do. And no matter how crazy it looks to just a sliver under what he's making 51% of the country happy while 49% isn't, or something close like that. And then we have so many more eligible voters who don't vote. So they must be okay with this. But our gold is to be guarded tightly, heavily, and it should be inventoried. I believe that it is. I don't believe that gold is just floating around all over the place. Now, it may not be in Fort Knox, but it is not just being not accounted for and stolen. It's moved and missing. It's been moved and missing at the higher level of our government.
Secretary says everything is accounted for.
We do an audit every year. So the audit that ended the year September 30th, 2024.
What he just said is that it is audited every year. I'd like to know if it's a physical audit and how they go about it, but I probably never not be privy to that. But if he's saying it's audited annually, and then they're telling us it hasn't been audited since 1974 or 1953, I've heard mixed stories on that as well. What is it really? If it's being audited annually, then Elon Musk and President Trump should know that. Being that closely related and running the government, Trump should know that. He shouldn't be telling people, we're going to go and see if it's there. He should go and see if it's there because this is his first year in office. Make sure everything is there right now that was there when he left. And he should have a good opportunity to see if anything came up missing on Biden's watch. Or did Biden not do an audit and it came up missing on Trump's watch? Who knows? It's impossible to figure this shit out, really, but audits have to be happening. They just absolutely have to be. There's no way.
All the gold is present and accounted for.
It's all getting extra attention as the price of the precious metal hits records, close to $3,000 an ounce. But that gold at Fort Knox is not on the market. Back in town, residents embracing their role, and the people say they're ready for the president's visit, whenever that might be.
Oh, I'd love to see him come to Fort Knox. It'd be awesome.
The president wants to come. Let's hear this before our kids.
Whether that proof would be enough to convince naysayers is an open question.
Yeah, that's a tough one. Shit. When you're talking about that much gold and that much power with the gold, wherever that gold sits, it's just the amount of it under in one place, and then they say that's only half of our gold. That's not even all the gold that we have. So something needs to be done so that it is accounted for properly, and people can really know in their heart that things are being done the right way, because that gold solidifies us as who we are. Without that gold, we are not the United States of America that you guys all know. Someone else will be sitting on that gold, and they will be the ones calling the shots around the world. You will see military installations around the world that belong to the United States closing up because we won't have any way to finance them. It's kind of hard to believe that the big old pile of gold like that is that powerful or that responsible for the power in the world. And it was stolen to begin with, most of it out of the African continent by theft, just straight stealing. And Great Britain was able to just roll for centuries, just sucking and up to the current day, sucking the resources out of Africa. And then the United States is right there with them, and France and all these European countries. And that's where all the wealth and the gold is, but it's derived by theft. And now everybody has what they have, their slice of the pie, they're part of the world, and everybody wants to play fair and follow rules now. And forget about all the people who were stepped on the way to your dominance, to your lead, to your position. And that needs to be taken into account. There are things and debts and responsibilities that need to be taken care of. And if the United States citizens can see how clearly we should be feeding children in Africa who are starving, but they're sitting on land that is wealthy. The wealth is being sucked out of the land, and they're just being given a small meal. That just doesn't make a lot of sense. That gold at Fort Knox will be accounted for. Some may be missing, some may be not. But we need to find that out and start paying more attention to our government. That is a very important part of our government. If our debt is canceled and they want to collect, that gold is going to have to be moved, because we wouldn't be in debt if we had the other means to pay for it. So we are paying for it beyond what our tax pool is. So if what we get from our tax revenue isn't enough to sustain us and we have to go into debt, it has to be backed by something. And pray that they never have to come in and collect and get our gold, or we would be in a very, very bad place. Like, comment, share, and please subscribe, and we'll see you on the next Black Popcorn.